Leeds Industrial Museum, a true story of hauntings and hidden horrors. In the heart of Leeds, tucked away near the banks of the River Aire, lies a museum that captures the essence of the city's industrial past, the Leeds Industrial Museum. Housed in what was once the site of the famous Armley Mills, this museum offers visitors a glimpse into the machinery, craftsmanship, and ingenuity that powered the city's industrial revolution. With its towering brick walls, vast open spaces, and relics of an era long gone, the museum stands as a monument to Leeds' industrial history. However, behind its walls, the museum holds darker secrets, stories of death, labour, and tragedy that have left their mark on the place. Some believe that the spirits of the past still linger here, trapped within the very walls that once saw untold suffering. From the time it was built in 1805, Armley Mills was an important hub in the textile industry, turning out wool and linen with the help of cutting edge machinery. However, the mills were also a place of hardship. Workers laboured long hours in dangerous conditions, and many died in accidents or were subjected to harsh, inhumane treatment. As with many industrial buildings of the time, the mills were a place where the living and the dead were often closely intertwined, where the price of progress came in the form of human lives. It is this tragic history that some say has made the Leeds Industrial Museum a hotbed for paranormal activity. Before it became a museum, the building that houses Leeds Industrial Museum was an active textile mill for over a century. During its time as a working mill, Armley Mills was known for its sheer scale and productivity, producing textiles and clothing that helped fuel Leeds' industrial rise. But it was also a place of relentless labour. Men, women, and children working tirelessly in dangerous conditions, often for long hours, with little regards of their health and safety. The machinery in these factories was monstrous, with large, spinning wheels, iron cogs, and deadly flywheels that could easily crush a limb or life in an instant. There are accounts of workers who fell victim to these machines, caught in the gears, pulled into the whirring cogs, and left maimed or dead. There were also numerous reports of industrial accidents involving fires and explosions that claimed lives. Children, many as young as 8 or 9, were often employed in the mills, working in unsafe conditions with little protection or care. The death toll from such accidents was high, but no one kept track. There were simply too many to count. In the late 19th century, as the factory system became more mechanized, the workers grew increasingly restless, seeking better working conditions, but their pleas were often ignored, and protests met with force. It's said that the heavy atmosphere of exploitation, sorrow, and injustice left a permanent stain on the place, a stain that the museum, while now a place of history and heritage, has never fully been able to erase. Today, the Leeds Industrial Museum stands as a vibrant collection of industrial artifacts, tools, and machinery. However, it is also a place known for its eerie atmosphere, with strange occurrences and ghostly experiences reported by staff and visitors alike. The ghosts that haunt this former mill are believed to be the spirits of the workers who once toiled here, their souls still tethered to the site by the brutal conditions and untimely deaths they suffered during their lives. The most commonly reported ghost at Leeds Industrial Museum is that of a former mill worker. Witnesses have described seeing the shadowy figure of a man dressed in old-fashioned work clothes wandering the museum's halls, often appearing in the area around the machinery exhibits. This ghost is believed to be one of the many workers who perished in the mill, possibly a man who was crushed in one of the factory's massive machines. Those who have encountered the spirit say that he appears suddenly, usually at dusk or in the dead of night, when the museum is eerily quiet. He is often seen near the old textile machinery, his form flickering in and out of sight as if trapped in a loop of his final moments. Some have reported feeling an overwhelming sense of sadness or suffocation when the apparition is near, as though the very air around them becomes thick with the weight of his suffering. Others have reported hearing strange noises near the machinery, as though the machines themselves are operating on their own, whirring, clicking, and clanking in the dead of night. Some believe that the worker's spirit is tied to these machines, unable to rest until they are put to proper use or destroyed. Still, others claim to hear the faint sound of footsteps following them through the museum, only to turn around and find no one there. Another common apparition reported at the Leeds Industrial Museum is that of a woman who is said to haunt the museum's library. According to some accounts, the woman is dressed in old fashioned clothing, possibly the attire of a Victorian era factory worker. She is often seen standing near the shelves of books or wandering through the library, her face hidden in the shadows. Some believe that this ghost is the spirit of a former worker who suffered a tragic fate. It is said that she worked in the factory for many years before dying in an accident, possibly crushed by machinery or suffocated in a fire. Visitors who have encountered her ghost claim that she seems to be searching for something, perhaps a loved one lost in the mills or a piece of her life that was taken too soon. Those who have witnessed the apparition say that she gives off an intense sense of sorrow and longing. Some report feeling a sudden, inexplicable sadness when they enter the library, as though the women's grief is somehow contagious. The feeling of being watched is also common in this area of the museum, with many visitors reporting that they feel as though they are not alone. There are also reports of ghostly children's voices heard in the museum's darker corners, especially in areas where the factory's youth workers once toiled. It is said that many children were employed in the mills, working long hours under dangerous conditions. Some died in accidents, while others are believed to have perished from illnesses or overwork. Visitors to the museum have reported hearing the faint sound of children laughing or whispering, followed by the unmistakable sounds of small footsteps echoing through the halls. Often, these sounds seem to come from the abandoned areas of the building, where few people venture. Some claim that they have seen fleeting figures of small children running through the halls, only for them to disappear before they can be caught. Others say that they have felt small hands tug at their sleeves or ankles, as if trying to get their attention. Some believe that the restless spirits of these children are trapped in the museum, unable to move on due to the harsh conditions they endured while working at the mill. Their voices and laughter are said to be echoes of a time long past, but for those who have heard them, they are all too real. Today, the Leeds Industrial Museum offers a fascinating insight into the history of the Industrial Revolution in the city of Leeds. It is a place where visitors can see how the rise of an industry shaped the lives of countless individuals, including the many workers who spent their lives in the mills. However, it is also a place where the ghosts of the past are still very much present, whispering, wandering, and reaching out from beyond the grave. For those who dare to visit, the museum offers a chilling reminder of the sacrifices made during the industrial age and the ghosts that remain as a result. Whether it is the phantom worker who still lingers near the machines, the sorrowful lady in the library, or the voices of children from another time, the spirits of the past refuse to be forgotten. The Leeds Industrial Museum stands as a monument not only for the achievements of the Industrial Revolution, but also the spirits of those who lived and died within its walls. In the quiet of night, when the museum is empty and the echoes of the past grow louder, it's as if the voices of the workers and spirits of the lost souls still fill the air. The past never truly fades, it lingers in the shadows, waiting to be remembered. And at the Leeds Industrial Museum, the past is always alive, in ways that are far more unsettling than any history book could ever reveal.